Starting 5.2, writing linear equations from a table. 2 steps: find the slope using the slope formula, and then find the y-intercept. And you're basically finding the value when x is 0. Y value is the y-intercept. Follow the pattern backwards in the tables, or sub in the m and use a point from the table to sub in x and y to find the value. So let's look at the first one. The table shows the volume of water released by Hoover Dam over a certain period of time. Graph the data and find the slope and y-intercept from the graph. Then write the equation for the graph in slope-intercept form. So let's take the information from the table and graph it. So this is my x, these are my y's. So 575,000, I'm going to go over to 5, go up to 75,000. 75,000 falls in between 100 and 50,000. Next is 10, 150, so I go to 10, go up to 150,000. Good point. 15 and 225 is going to be right in here. And then 23,300. Okay, that gives my line. So we have our points. Now we could rise over run to find the slope. I can start from this point here, which is 100. There's 75,000, and from 75,000 to 150,000 is 75,000. So the rise is 75,000. Y over x. And then my x is how much did I run in between those? Well, I ran 5. So I'm going to divide both sides. I'm going to divide 75,000 by 5, and that would equal 15,000. And my slope is 15,000. So I can use the slope to find the point at which my the point at which the line crosses the y-axis. So I can go down 75 and to the left 5. So if I go down 75, down, and then left, find that the using rise over run, that the y-intercept equals 0. Alright, so I found my slope, found my y-intercept, so now I can use the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, and plug the information into it. So it would be y equals 15,000 x. That is my equation. Alright, going on to the next one. Salesperson receives a weekly salary plus a commission for each computer sold. The table shows the total pay P and the number of computers sold N. Write an equation in slope-intercept form to represent the situation. So salaries, that's going to be your slope. The one has a rate. Commission is your starting point, so that's your B. So let's figure out what our slope and our y-intercept are. All right. First thing I'm going to do is figure out my slope. I'm just going to use my slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's go 700 minus 550 over 6 minus 5. And all I did was say, all right, here's x and y. X is always on top. There's x1, there's y1, y2, x1, x2. So do this, I get 150 over 2, 150 divided by 2 equals 75. So my slope is 75. Now I need to find out what my y-intercept is. To do this, I'm going to have to work my table backwards. But first, to do that, you have to see what your x value is going up each time. In this case, it's going up 2 times every time. And the y value is going up by 150 every time. Okay, so all it's doing is from 4, you add 2, you get 6. 6, add 2, you get 8. Same thing here, 550, add 150, you get 700. 700, add 150, you get 850, and so on. So we're going to use it going up by 150 to work it backwards, and we're going to subtract 150 from the last number. So from the y and 2 from the last on the x. So 4 minus 2 is 2. And 150 minus, or 550 minus 150 is going to be, let's see, 400. All right, and that's not quite, I need to get all the way to 0. So if I subtract 2 from 2, that would be 0. So I went from here, now I'm going to here. I went from there, now I need to go to here. So 450 minus 150 is 250. So when x is 0, the value of y is 250. So that is my y-intercept. And now I can write my equation. Y equals 75x plus 250. And that is the equation. On Rid-A-Van and Moving Company charges the daily fee plus a fee per mile. The table shows the total cost C and the number of miles driven D. Write an equation with slope-intercept form to represent this equation. So this is my x, this is my y. Slope-intercept forms y equals mx plus d. Okay, so slope, y-intercept, find those two, put that information into the equation. So this is going up by 10, 10, going up by what, 5, 5, 5, 5, 10, 10. Okay, so I can use that to get my y-intercept. Now I can use the slope formula of 50 minus 45 over 20 minus 10. That is 5 over 10, which equals 1/2. Okay, so it's 1/2. If I go back 10, I get to 0. If I go back 5, I get to 40. Value of y when x is 0 is 40. That is my y-intercept. So my equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 40. Okay. All right, these are some practice problems that you don't have on yours. If you're still not understanding, practicing them, and ask to go over your tutorials. All right, 5.3 is the next page of your notes. Linear relationships in bivariate data. Bivariate just means there are two variables. What are our two variables? Our two variables are x and y. That's our variables. M and B are slope and y-intercepts. They're not variables. All right. So today we're going to find the equation in the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Today we're going to be using a graph instead of a table. All right, so we still need to find the slope and y-intercept and then put them all together into the equation. We can use 2 points from the graph to find m, and use the slope you found in a point on the graph to find b. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So, handrail runs alongside a stairway as the horizontal distance from the bottom of this stairway changes, the height of the handrail changes. So what the relationship is linear, and you can find the relationship. So right now that line is straight, so it does look linear. But what we don't know is the y-intercept. We're going to use the 2 points 5, 7, and 10, 11 to find our slope. This is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's go. Our slope equals 11 minus 7 over 10 minus 5. That is 4 over 5. Okay. Now we can use the slope and 2 points to find the y-intercept. Okay, so to do that, we're just going to plug in our slope and the coordinates of 1 point into this y equals mx plus b. So y equals mx plus b. We're going to plug in our y is 7 equals our slope is 4 over 5. Our x is 5 plus b, and we're just going to solve for b. So the first thing I'm going to do is do the multiplication here. That's 4 times 5 is 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4 plus b. So then we subtract 4 from both sides. then 3 equals b. So b, the line would come across at 3. So our y-intercept equals 3. Our equation is y equals 4 over 5x plus 3. Now you can also take 0.5 over 7 and subtract your slope. This is y, this is x. So subtract 5 from the 5, which is x, and 4 from the 7, which is the y. Those are goes with y, goes with x. That's 0, 3. 0.03. Alright. Next, find the equation for each linear relationship. So saying that they are linear, it is in a straight line. It may or may not be proportional. In the graph, it is not. So I've got a point here and a point there. I can find my slope, but these points are different. So if you notice, it's going up by 40. So this is going up by 20 here. So that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So if I go up, that's 20 over 20, or 20, 40 over 20, 40. So no matter what, 20 over 20 equals 1, and 40 over 40 equals 1. So our slope equals 1. Now our y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis, which is at 0, 20, so it is 20. So it is y equals x plus 20. Excuse me. Now for the table, we're going to use the slope formula to find the slope. So here's x, there's y. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm going to say 3,600 minus 480 over 15 minus 2. Use your calculator. 3,600 minus 480 equals 3,120 over 13. Divide that, see if that comes out evenly. And it does at 240. So M equals 240. So we found our slope. So now we need to find our y-intercept. Alright. Now we have our slope and we have some points. So I would suggest just taking y equals mx plus b. Okay, and solve for b. We have a y, which is 480, equals our slope is 240. Apply that times 2, our x, plus b. So that equals 240 times 2 is 480. That's 480 plus b. I'll subtract 480 from both sides. You get 0 equals b. So our b equals 0, so this is proportional. So it would be y equals 240x. Next one, use the equation, we write to predict the value. Write the equations and substitute it in for x or y accordingly. Alright, the graph shows the cost for a taxi rides at different distances. Predict the cost of a taxi ride that covers a distance of 6.5 miles. Let's go ahead and figure out, do we need to put it in for x or y? What is the label for y? It is dollars. That's our cost. What's the label of the number that we're trying to figure out? Miles. Miles is the label for the x axis, so we're going to plug it in to the x. So first we need to find our slope and y-intercept, and then we'll plug it in. So we'll start here. Don't know what that number is. It looks like it's going up by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But we do have some points that we can use that are right in the middle. That looks like it's at 7. So 7 to 11. So 11 minus 7, that's 4. It went up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then from this looks like it's going up by 2's. So it went over 2. So that's 4 over 2. And if we're not real sure about that, we can always use the slope formula. We have the 0.27 and the 0.411. Okay, and we can plug that into the slope formula if we wanted to. All right, so I have 4 over 2, that just equals 2, so m equals 2. So we've got y equals 2 times 6.5, and then our y-intercept, that looks like it's going to fall at 3 plus 3. So 2 times 6.5 is 13 plus 3 equals 16, and that is $16 to go 6.5 miles. Last one. Paulina's income from a job that pays her a fixed amount per hour is shown in the graph. Use the graph to find the predicted value. All right, so let's try to see if we can answer stuff without doing anything first. Income earned for 2 hours working. So if she works 2 hours, she's getting paid how much? It's at that point, so that's $10, $20, $30. 2 hours, that's $30. Well, okay, so income earned for working 3.25 hours. Well, we can't really do 3.25 hours, so we need to come up with the equation. We can see that the y-intercept is 0, so we don't have to find that. We just need to find our slope. So we got 2 perfect points here and here. So I'm going to rise 10, 20, 30. So that's 30 over. And then it's going by ones. So that's 1, 2, which equals 15. So that's the rate is $15 an hour. All right, so I need to plug in y equals 15x, and then I can plug in 3.25 hours. Is that on the x or the y? That is the label of the x, so I'm going to plug it in for x. So 15 times 3.25. Use my calculator. I get 3.25 times 15 is 48.75. So that is for 3.25 hours, gets paid $48.75. All right, total income earned for working 5 8-hour days, all at the standard rate. So if I did y equals 15 times 8, I'm going to get, see, that's 5 times 8 is 40, 120. And then I multiply that times 5, because it's 5 8-hour days. You're going to get 0, there's 10, $600 for 5 8-hour days. That's $600 a week. All right, be sure to be ready to go over some more examples tomorrow and work on homework and come with questions. Have a good day.